team, Lee Allison here with Allison Agile, coming to you with another Agile leadership lesson. Today is our fourth in the series, and we're going to be talking about velocity, capacity, and load. Now, at first glance, you might think that all three of those are very, very similar words, and they are similar, but they're not the same. In order for you to properly manage, run, and operate your Agile teams, you need to understand the distinction between the three of these. And we're going to start at the top with velocity. We're going to use the icon of a speedometer up there for velocity. Velocity is basically the average of your team's deliverables. So we're going to put average of deliverables. Delivery. Okay, this is over the past X number of increments, chunks of calendar, and X is usually somewhere between 3 and 5. Over the last 3 to 5 increments, how much work did your team actually deliver? How much did they actually finish up at the very end of the session? Now, obviously, this is all about speed. This is all about how fast. And these are great things to know about your teams. Velocity is what's going to give you that answer. Keep in mind also, velocity is 100% retrospective, and it talks about what happened in the past. The next word that we're going to be looking at, the next term, is capacity. And for capacity, we're going to put a big old sippy cup over there, right? Like the big sips you get at 7-Eleven or whatever convenience store you might have. Capacity is simply velocity minus expected availability. Let's say that over the next 2-week sprint, you've got 2 of your developers that are going to attend a 2-day training course, like some of the ones that Allison Agile. Okay, look, I had to put the plug in there, right? Like some of the classes that we give. Well, capacity means that you're going to take your velocity and you're going to subtract 2 workers for 2 days each, so 4 total work days. Now, this is, as I said, velocity minus calendar. All right, capacity is velocity minus calendar. And there's a lot of different math that you can utilize to take off percentages. The real learning point is that if you know that you did X velocity for so many weeks or months per iteration, and you're missing a substantial portion of your workforce, you don't continue to run at velocity. You actually operate to capacity, not velocity. And then finally, load. And for load, we're going to put this warning stamp right over there, caution heavy load. Load is simply total work accepted by the team itself. Total work accepted. There we go, by the team. And your load should always be something reasonably short of your capacity. Remember, in our last video, we talked about the lie of 100%, the lie of running your teams to 100% capacity. So don't load your teams to their capacity, and make sure that their capacity takes their velocity and subtracts their calendar availability from it. And these are the 3 things that you need to understand. Velocity across a long period of time is relatively constant, plus or minus a couple of different things that might be impacting it. But since it's an average, it tends to be relatively smooth. Your capacity can wildly change. The last 2 weeks of the year, from mid-December to 1st of January, your capacity will be plummeted lower than it would be for, let's say, first part of April, when everybody's working at their desk getting things done. So your velocity stays fairly consistent, your capacity might whipsaw, and then your load needs to be tracking whatever your capacity is. And that's it for today. A really simple lesson: velocity, capacity, load. A lot of people have a hard time keeping those straight and understanding how they relate. Just keep them in mind. Velocity is average work delivered. Capacity is velocity minus your calendar, and load is capacity minus 10%, 20%, whatever is standard for your particular organization. Okay, so that's it for today's lessons. Short, sweet, and to the point. Velocity, capacity, and load. Please understand them, know how to measure them, and know how to use them to predict your team's performance and manage and run and operate the team itself. I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in. Please, the bumper at the very end, as always, is going to have my contact info. Reach out to me via any of the appropriate social medias if I can do anything to help you out, or if you have any additional questions beyond this. Thank you very much once again for your attention. Stay safe, take really good care of the people around you, and we'll catch you next week. Take care. Bye now.